HOA demanded I clean my yard, so I dumped every bit of clutter onto their lawn. The sun hung low over Maple Grove, painting the cul-de-sac in hues of amber and regret. My yard wasn't much to look at: overgrown grass, a rusty bike, and a pile of warped plywood from a failed deck project. It wasn't a landfill, but it wasn't a magazine cover either. I'd been meaning to clean it up, but life kept getting in the way. Late shifts at the garage, my kids' soccer games, and a leaking roof that ate my savings. Then came Karen. Karen was the HOA president, a woman whose smile could curdle milk. She'd been hounding me for weeks, her emails sharp enough to cut glass. Unsightly debris, she called my yard, as if my life's chaos was a personal affront to her manicured lawn. Last week, she'd left a citation on my door, $200 fine unless I restored order by Friday. I'd laughed it off, but the laughter died when I saw her standing on my porch that morning, clipboard in hand, her eyes gleaming with righteous fury. "You're bringing down property values, Tom," she said, voice dripping with condescension. "This isn't just about you. It's about community standards." I wanted to tell her where she could shove her standards, but I bit my tongue. I had a kid to feed, a job to keep. I nodded, promised to clean up, and watched her strut back to her pristine colonial across the street. That night I couldn't sleep. The fine loomed like a guillotine, and Karen's smug face haunted me. I wasn't a slob, I was a single dad trying to hold it together. Why couldn't she see that? By 2 a.m., anger had replaced exhaustion. If Karen wanted my yard clean, fine. I'd give her clean. I'd give her everything. Dawn broke, and I got to work. I hauled every scrap of clutter-broken chairs, old tires, a cracked kiddie pool across the street, and dumped it onto Karen's lawn. The pile grew, a monument to my defiance. By noon, her perfect grass was buried under my life's detritus. Neighbors gawked from their windows, phones out, whispering. I didn't care. This felt good. This felt right. Karen's scream could have shattered windows. She stormed out, her face redder than the azaleas she bragged about. "What is this?" she shrieked, gesturing at the mess. I leaned on my rake, grinning. "You wanted my yard clean, Karen. It's clean now. You're welcome." "You're insane," she spat, pulling out her phone. "I'm calling the police." I shrugged, adrenaline pumping. Let her call. I'd followed her rules, hadn't I? The yard was spotless. Her lawn, though, that was her problem now. The cops came, took one look, and sighed. It was a civil matter, they said, no laws broken. Karen's rage only grew, her voice cracking as she ranted about bylaws and respect. I stood my ground, but the high was fading. Neighbors were picking sides, some smirked, others glared. My daughter, Ellie, watched from our porch, her eyes wide with worry. I'd wanted to teach Karen a lesson, but now I wondered if I'd gone too far. Then came Mrs. Delgado, the quiet widow from next door. She shuffled over, her cane tapping the pavement, and everyone froze. She rarely spoke, but when she did, people listened. "Tom," she said softly, "I know you're hurting, but this," she gestured at the chaos, "this isn't you." She turned to Karen. "And you, Karen, you've been cruel. You knew Tom's wife passed last year. Did you ever ask how he's managing? Did you offer help before your fines?" The air shifted. Karen's face crumpled, just for a second, before hardening again. Mrs. Delgado's words hit me like a punch. My wife, Sarah, had been gone 14 months, and I'd been drowning ever since. The yard wasn't just clutter, it was my grief, spilled out for everyone to judge. I hadn't meant for Ellie to see this, to feel ashamed of her dad. Karen didn't back down. She filed a formal complaint with the HOA demanding my eviction. The hearing was a circus, neighbors shouting, some defending me, others calling me a menace. I apologized, offered to clean Karen's lawn, but she wouldn't hear it. "You've disrespected this community," she said, her voice cold. The board sided with her. I had 30 days to move or face legal action. I cleaned her lawn that night, every scrap, every splinter. Ellie helped, silent, her small hands trembling. When we finished, Karen's yard was perfect again, but mine felt emptier than ever. We moved a month later to a small apartment across town. Ellie cried for weeks, missing her friends, her home. I'd won a battle but lost everything that mattered. Karen's lawn still haunts men at the Clutter, but the cost. I'd let anger blind me, and my daughter paid the price. Maybe Karen was a bully, but I'd stooped lower. Mrs. Delgado's words linger. We'd both failed to see each other's humanity. Now, I wonder, where do you draw the line between standing up and striking back? Share your thoughts. Was I wrong? Or was Karen? Where does justice end and revenge begin?